Hello friends, welcome to virtual learning. We are learning Virginia Woolf's new dress. In new dress, we have seen Mabel, main character, woman of 40, having two children. Virginia Woolf, about writer. We have taken information about writer, her books, her novels, the present story about Mabel, her books, new dress. Here we have, see here, the whole of the room, how Mabel enters in the party and the picture how differently she thinks about her new dress, and that is the inferior feeling. Others were superior and she considered herself as inferior. Means this is her problem, thinking problem, and how she thinks about her new dress and how other persons were there and how she enters in Mrs. Dolby's party. Mrs. Dolby invited her. Allow now seems to silly, paltry, provincial. All this had been absolutely destroyed, shown up, exploded the moment she came into Mrs. Dolby's drawing room. When she entered in that drawing room, Mrs. Dolby's drawing room, means whatever she considered herself that was silly, paltry, whatever she designed, her dress, how that costume she selected herself, designed for herself, chosen herself. So this is all in vain, paltry and provincial. That is in vain, vanity. That is excess pride. Means her pride that become vanish. Appearance of or achievement. Here repulsive we have seen, sordid, unpleasant, distaste. Now next, see here, we are here. What she had thought that evening when sitting over the teacup. Means what even? Now just the party scene that was going on, and now she just think about the previous things, means past incident, means how Mrs. Dolby came through with invitation card, and how she was sitting over teacup, and Mrs. Dolby's invitation came was that of course she could not be fashionable, means she could not be fashionable, so it was absurd to pretend it even, or to pretend that I am a fashionable. That is a absurd thing. It's not good thing to pretend even. Fashion means here Mabel, she could not fashionable, but here fashion meant cut. See here, fashion means cut, meant style, meant 30 guineas at least. It's according to Mabel, fashion means what? Only cut, means style, changing of style, costume, means 30 guineas. And once again, question of money, that is guineas. Guineas here, 21 shillings is equal to guinea. So this is a currency, England currency in those time, in those days. But why not be original? Now her thought, why not be original? Why should we live or choose costume according to fashion? Why not be herself? Anyhow, means she wanted to represent herself. No pretend, no fashionable, original should be there. And getting up, she had taken that old-fashioned book of her mother's, a Paris fashion book of the time. And what happened? In her house, there was an old-fashioned book that is of her mother's book, Paris old-fashioned book. Means she considered that, means we should just how she will prepare for going to party. Now there is a book, and she take that book, Time of the Empire, means that book was very old, Time of the Empire, where kings were there, and had thought how much prettier, more dignified, and she thought how much prettier means very beautiful, and dignified means very maintaining good high level standard, so dignified, and more womanly they were then, means more womanly, means looking that fashion looking more womanly in those period, means in mother's period, in her mother's time. And so said herself, and she said herself means decided, decided to choose the fashion from that book. Oh, it was foolish, and sometimes she consider, oh, it was foolish. Why should we imitate that old things? Trying to be like them means trying to be like them means empires or the queens or the old people. Why should we? It is foolish. Once again, she decided to do, and in another way, she also consider it is a foolish thing. Why should we decide? Then, pluming herself, in fact, and she becomes very happy. Pluming herself means here become very happy upon being modest and old-fashioned. And in one side, she also become happy to be modest, submissive, gentle, modest, passion, and old-fashioned means it is good. So she is now thinking to do that type of fashion and very charming, giving herself up, no doubt about it. And that fashion was looking good, charming. She liked that fashion, and that's why she also decided to make that type of costume for the party of Mrs. Dalby. To an orgy of self-love. Now, this is about to an orgy of self-love means how it is. Orgy of self-love means a person loving herself or himself. That is the self-love. Another meaning of self-love is that means here thinking about his own a person and making merrymaking or celebration. That is also the meaning of self-love. Means merrymaking, celebration, enjoying in the party, enjoying with friends. Actually, merrymaking and self-love. These are the terms that so many students or so many young people they apply in their youth, which deserve to be chastised, and that deserve to be chastised. Now, this is the thing: merrymaking or self-love or the will to love someone that is just chastised in those period. Means see the condition of England or London at that time period. This novel constructed in 1924. So in those period, there were some restrictions on women. Means no freedom that was given, that much liberty was given to women, and this type of things, doing this type of thing that is chastised means punishable offense. Father and mother, even in our India today, in some community, it is chastised means punishable offense. Women cannot be behaves so liberally. So some restrictions even today in our India is there on women. So in those days, and that was punishable offense, and so rigid herself out like this, and that's why she was so rigid herself. Means she wanted to do all these things in her young period or in her youth. She wanted to do. Let's go ahead here, but she dare not look in the glass. Now, scene that is of the party. Now this scene just we have seen that is a flashback, past event. So she was thinking about her dress and feeling ashamed on herself. She dare not look in the glass. She could not face the whole horror, and she could not face the whole horror. And she dummy standing at home looking good, but actually on her that was not looking good, but not on her, not among all these ordinary people. All these ordinary people means like Mabel wearing that belongs to from very ordinary family. Her family background that was not good. 10 members were there in her family. From childhood, she was lacking so many things, and that's why inferiority complex, or that we can say that others are superior. This feeling that in her set in her mind from childhood, due to economic condition, she felt like a dressmaker's dummy standing there. And how she felt in party, dressmaker's dummy standing there. Means in dressmaker or a garment shop, in front of that dummy statues are there. And we often see that dummy. And some young people also make some mischievous things to that dummy or some just try their tying of their tie. So demo. So young people stick pins into, means young people consider as a demo. But my dear, it's a perfectly charming, Rose Shaw said. Now Rose Shaw means party mate, Mrs. Rose Shaw, and she said, okay, it's okay, perfectly charming. While telling her this thing, looking her up looking her up and down, it's like that. Why you are thinking about that? Your dress is not good. It's a perfectly charming. She looked Rose Shaw, another woman, with that little satirical pucker of the lips which she expected. And little satirical here, sarcastic, means some humorously critical or sarcastic. Hooker means here action, small fold of lips, like that, like that. But perfectly charming, sometimes when we say that how I am looking good, and sometimes we just say perfect. So like that means action, hooker. This action means hooker, perfect, perfect. So hooker, which she expected. Rose herself being dressed in the height of the fashion. Herself, she chosen fashion precisely like everybody else always. And she means that dress was not hideous. It was looking okay. And everybody else always. Next, see here. We are all like flies trying to scroll over the edge of the saucer. Now she consider in her inner mind there is the thought. We are means all here, that is the common people or that ordinary people. They are like a flies, house fly. Mabel thought and repeated the phrase as if she were crossing herself. As if she were crossing herself, she considered that as a fly, house fly. As if she were trying to find some spell to annul this pain, means to reduce this pain. She trying to find out something. Actually she was very miserable here, unhappy. See her annul, reduce to nothing means not minimize, to make this agony endurable, to make this agony means here pain, endurable means to power to uh, accept, that is endurable. So agony, tags of Shakespeare. See, tags of Shakespeare. Now these lines are from Shakespeare's book, means fly. She just consider herself as a fly on saucer, fly on cup, milk cup. These lines from the books she had read ages ago, means somewhere she had read that book. Suddenly came to her when she was in agony, and she repeated them over and over again. And this line she repeated over and over because she was in disgrace, means unhappy mood, and she repeated this line. Fly is trying to scroll. Now fly is house fly trying to scroll over that saucer or over that cup. Scroll means to like insect, some insect just scroll. So fly is trying to scroll, repeated this line again and again. Means how it is trying to scroll means something that here Mabel is ordinary and other persons in the party, they were rich, and that's why Mabel consider herself as a fly, and she just trying to scroll up to coming the level out of that milk, out of that saucer, out of that cup. So this is trying to scroll. This is the imagination symbolism it is used here. Let's go ahead. She repeated again and again. If she could say that over often enough and make herself see the flies, she would become numb, chill, frozen, dumb. And when she saw that all these things incident and she became numb, means very not having sense, chill, very cold, frozen. Once again, that is a frozen, and dumb means not saying any word, means become very unhappy. Now she could see flies crawling slowly out of the saucer, and all flies. She considered that ordinary people or the party in that party people were there. Consider that they're trying to scrolling means her imagination. She imagines herself as a fly, and flies means ordinary people. They are just crawling slowly out of the saucer of milk. And some milk is there, and in that milk, some flies were there, and that flies trying to come out from that milk with their wings stuck together with their wings, because their wings that become sticky, and they try to out of that milk, and she strained and strained. Now she strained and strained means in a tension. Strain means here tension. Standing in front of the looking glass, listening to Rose Shaw. Now Rose Shaw is there with her, and she just strained and strained means she was in tension, in sorrow mood, and standing in front of looking glass means mirror was there, and Rose Shaw was also there. Woman, pretty woman that is looking good looking, to make herself see Rose Shaw, and she to make herself see Rose Shaw, she is also means Mabel also seeing Rose Shaw, and all the other people there are there as flies, and all other people there as flies, and she consider other people also flies, trying to hoist themselves out of something. Tries to hoist them means all people just they wanted to show their condition. Hoist out of something means coming out of something means here it is a once again imagination is there means every person everybody showing just her or his own personality, or into something out of something or into something. Meager insignificant toiling flies. Meager insignificant, meager means paltry, not importance. Insignificant, not importance. Toiling flies, like toiling flies means how that flies do efforts to coming out of that milk. So hardworking flies, yeah, toiling flies means that flies hard work means like people also hard work and to show to represent themselves. But she could not see them like that. Means she could not consider other people like flies. Not other people. She saw herself like that, and she saw herself means she is trying to come out from the milk. Means she considered herself as a fly, house fly. She was a fly, but the others were dragonflies, butterflies, beautiful insect, and others were means standard. She considered ordinary herself, and that's why actually she was ordinary, and other people they were rich. So that's why dragonflies and butterflies and beautiful insects means considering other, and dancing, fluttering, skimming, enjoying, fluttering, dancing in that party, enjoying in that party, skimming, finding out something in that party, while she alone drag herself up out of the saucer, and she is the person alone, only one person drag out of that from that cup of milk saucer. Envy and spite. Envy and spite, the most detestable of the vices, were her chief faults, and that was her chief fault. Envy and spite means she just envy herself, malice to others, and consider others as a superior, and this is her bad habit. That is the vices, detestable of the vices. Vices means bad habit, where her chief fault means that was the fault of Mabel. She considered herself. Here the next, I feel like some dowdy, decrepit, horribly dingy old fly. Now means she considered as a old fly, aged fly, old fly, and how it is dowdy. Dowdy means unfashionable, very dull, horribly dingy. Dingy also here, gloomy, drab. See here the word dowdy, especially of a woman, unfashionable and dull in appearance, elderly and firm, that is decrepit, that fly she considered dingy, gloomy, drab, unhappy, distressed, so nervous. So here these are the meanings. dingy old ply, she said, making Robert Hayden stop just to hear her say that, just to reassure herself by furbishing up a poor weak-kneed praise. Now what happened? There is another party went. Here Robert Hayden means a person, male, and she, maybe she familiar with her. She stopped that Robert Hayden to hear that some compliment, means so that how just reassure herself, means how he is saying that. Sometimes we ask to our friends how I am looking, is it my costume is good one, or how it is, we just reassure. So like that in the party she reassure, pervishing up means she wanted to know about her appearance. Weak need praise, and weak need means weak minded, actually that is weak need praise. Actually what somebody else will say, yes, good it is. So showing how detached she was, and so showing how detached she was means very disinterested she was, showing to him she was how witty, and how witty means wise here, that she did not feel in the least out of anything, and she did not feel least out of anything. Actually she become very unhappy, sorrowful. So that's why she asked, trying to ask somebody else, that is Robert Hayden, another party mate. And of course Robert Hayden answered something quite polite and quite insincere. But Robert Eden gave answer politely, but that is insincere. Insincere means not according to Mabel's expectation. So here insincere, which she saw through instantly, and she saw means not giving a proper compliment. Compliment means yes or okay or something not good, like this, through instant, and said to herself, directly he went, and said to herself, directly he went again from some book. And now again when he gave compliment and he went, and again from some book, means she remember lies, 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 means the line from that book, because she means it is observing that Mabel has read books, so that's why some other books lies, lies, lies. So whatever Robert Hayden said, that was not good. For a party makes things either much more real or much less real, and party either things makes much more real or less real, means may not be or not be. So here this is the thing Mabel consider herself. Next, she thought she saw in a flash to the bottom of Robert Hayden's heart. Now she saw flash of the bottom of Robert Hayden's heart, is what he said, not giving good compliment to her. She saw through everything. She saw through everything. In every aspect she considered herself. She saw the truth. Actually she saw the truth. Common person, ordinary man, and her dress that was not good, so good. Actually it is a good, but not according to her. This was true. This drawing room itself and other halls, Miss Milan's little workroom, was really terribly hot. Now drawing room of Mrs. Dalby, and now she is just comparing the room of Miss Milan. Miss Milan means here dressmaker, her dressmaker, dress designer. Little workroom, that is tailoring room, workroom, was really terribly hot and stuffy, sordid. Hot and stuffy means smelling bad, smelling. It smelled of clothes and cabbage cooking, like cabbage cooking. And yet when Miss Milan put the glass in the mirror hand, and Miss Milan was also there, yes, and when Miss Milan, now the incident of her shop, that is the tailoring shop, workroom, and when Miss Milan was there, hand a glass, means how she looks after completion of her dress, finish of her dress, maybe after trial. She said, she looked at herself with the dress on, and on finish, means when dress finished, trial she had done, and she looked herself, and Miss Milan, in Miss Milan's hand there is a glass, that is mirror. An extraordinary bliss shot through her heart, and extraordinary. At that time, she considered it's good. Okay, means good looking. Extraordinary bliss means very perfectly good. She consider shot through her heart, suffused with light means here suffused with means here full of light, spread with light, suffused with light. She became very happy. She sprang into existence, and she sprang in happiness. Yeah, it's okay, good. When she trial that dress after completion, read rid of cares and wrinkles, and rid of cares also in that happiness, and wrinkles also. Wrinkles means here it is a furrow or the wrinkles on the face. Now when we laugh or when we give the expression at that time, wrinkles on forehead also. That is what she had dreamed of herself was there, and what she had dreamed of that dress, that type of costume, that is perfect. Miss Milan had completed her dress. That is the what she had dreamed to herself was there. A beautiful woman, and she looked very beautiful. Beautiful woman means when completion, at that time of completion. Now flashback, she is in the party thinking about completion of dress also, thinking about the drawing room also, Miss Milan's workroom also. Just for a second she had not dared look longer, and just for a second she had not dared look longer. Before she expectation, her expectation completed. Miss Milan had completed good, finished good one, decorate that dress. Miss Milan wanted to know about the length of the skirt, and what happened there, that at that time also Miss Milan, means dressmaker, wanted to know the length of the dress. There, look at her frame in the scrolloping mahogany, and this dress is looking like that, how it is the frame in the scrolloping means here it is a characterized of passing heavy floral ornaments, something that mahogany means here it is a tree, one kind of tree, and that is full of lush green vegetation, means here evergreen tree that found in America. So mahogany, this is mahogany, this one, and as if this tree is full of floral ornaments, and that dress also looking like that, very full of flowering, that ornaments are there or something, work is there. A grey white mysterious smiling, and a grey white mysterious smiling charming girl, and Mabel, that time grey white means her face become very grey white means happy also, mysteriously smiling, she smiled. Charming girl, the core of herself means how she is the core of herself, she consider herself, she love herself, self love. Sound of herself means the soul of herself, means she love herself, and everything that is her character. This thing, these words reveals her character, the core of herself, the soul of herself. And it was not vanity, that was not vanity, that was not pride only, not only self love, and that was also not only self love, means here she self love. I told you about you that this is a person loving himself or herself, that is the self love, merry making, enjoying, that made her think it good, and these things made her think good, and she liked that ideas. And when she indulged in such good things, merry making, she forget her woes, she forget her sorrows, and that's why means knowingly she just consider herself all these things that means imagination of good things. Why? To forget bad things. Actually she in that party she become very nervous, so how to overcome that nervousness? So that's why thinking good, self-love, made her think it good, tender and true. Miss Milan said that the skirt could not be be longer. Now at that time Miss Milan, dressmaker, said skirt should be like skirt. It should not be long. No, it should be skirt should be like skirt, means not long. If anything the skirt, said Miss Milan, puckering her forehead. Puckering her forehead means here once again pucker means here wrinkles on forehead. and considering with all her wits about her, and considering her means her wits means judgment about that dress must be shorter. And she said, Miss Milan said, skirts should be shorter, not long. Actually, Mabel told Miss Milan to do this thing, to design such type of dress. So that's why tailor, when we say that I want this type of fashion, tailor will only sewing or completing that type of fashion. This is not fault of tailor. So she said, must be shorter, and felt suddenly, honestly, full with love. Means here she felt suddenly. Means Mabel felt suddenly. Here the opinion of Miss Milan, it should be shorter, not longer, and Mabel didn't consider this. Friends, here we stop. We will see next part of our video, next part of our lesson in next video. Here we have finished second part. Thank you very much.